All right, so for today's deep dive, we're tackling something that is, I think, fundamentally human and also just deeply frustrating. Infantile amnesia.
It's a true paradox.
It really is. You can map out your life for the next 10 years. You can remember that awful haircut from your 10th birthday party. But if you try to look back past, say, age 3,
There's just a wall, a total blank.
an impenetrable wall. And our sources today suggest this isn't a mistake. It's not a bug in the system.
No, not at all. It's presented as this essential adaptive mechanism. It's the cost of, well, the cost of becoming who you are, the price of entry into a conscious life.
A feature, not a bug.
Okay.
Okay, so we've broken this down into 3 main pillars from the research. First, the hardware changes in the brain itself.
Then the biological protection, which is fascinating.
And finally, a really radical idea about a software upgrade, something called the Odom-Tuli theory. The key question we're asking is, why do we forget the period when our brains are learning the fastest?
It's the central contradiction. Maximum plasticity, zero long-term storage.
So let's start with that hardware conflict. A baby's brain is just a sponge, absorbing language, learning to walk. So much complexity. Why does it all just vanish?
This is where we get into something called the neurogenic hypothesis.
Okay.
During infancy, the hippocampus, your brain's memory center, is just churning out new brain cells. It's a process called neurogenesis, and it's happening at an incredible rate.
And that's a good thing, right? More brain cells.
It is for learning, but it's terrible for storing. That constant influx of new cells physically disrupts and, overrides the existing memory circuits, the engrams.
So it's like trying to write a file onto a hard drive that's constantly being reformatted from the ground up.
That's a perfect analogy.
Right.
You're sacrificing stability for pure, raw plasticity. And on top of that, you have synaptic pruning.
The gardener metaphor from the sources.
Exactly. Your brain basically grows this wild, overgrown garden of connections, and then a set of cells comes in like a gardener with shears and just starts cutting back everything it deems non-essential.
It's cleaning house.
A mass elimination of the early, chaotic sensory data to make the network more efficient for the future.
Okay, so if the brain is physically wiping its own slate clean,
Yeah.
what's the functional, the psychological reason for it? The research points pretty strongly to trauma protection.
Right, and this is profound. The stress hormone levels in a newborn during the process of birth, they exceed those of an adult having a heart attack.
That's staggering.
It is. The infant brain, to protect itself, engages a kind of emergency defense mechanism. It's called dissociation.
Biological shield.
It's a shield. The brain essentially blocks the conscious recording of that overwhelming experience. The pain, the pressure, the hypoxia. So the emerging self isn't just shattered from the start.
But if it's just blocked, are the memories actually gone, or are they just latent somewhere?
That's the critical distinction. The sources argue they are latent, but in a form we can't consciously access. They aren't indexed. Still, the body remembers.
What do you mean by that?
Well, early stress can change the wiring, the connectivity of your amygdala, for instance. So your body's sort of default settings are programmed by these experiences, even if you can't pull up the movie of what happened.
The body keeps the score, but it's forgotten the name of the game.
That's a good way to put it.
And this brings us to the third pillar, which, for me, ties it all together. The software upgrade. The idea that language itself is the key.
Yes, the Odom-Tuli theory. It's Uzbek for language of man.
So what's the core idea here?
It proposes that language provides a kind of a coordinate grid, a semantic map that we need to structure and index our experiences. Before you have language, your brain is just recording raw data.
Like pure machine code.
Precisely. It's just raw sensation qualia. But once you install the linguistic operating system,
Your adult self can't read the old files.
you got it. The adult linguistic eye is a totally different system. It tries to access those pre-verbal memories, and it just gets a permanent file not found error. The code is incompatible.
So to become Odom, a person with a symbolic identity, you have to leave the raw data behind.
That's the price of admission.
Wow. So to pull this all together, you don't remember being a baby because, one, your brain's hardware was physically overwriting itself.
Chad, 2, your psyche was shielding itself from the trauma of birth.
And 3, your entire operating system changed from raw sensation to symbolic language, making the old files unreadable.
Exactly. Infantile amnesia isn't a failure of memory. It's the brain clearing the stage, preparing it for a conscious linguistic life.
It leaves you with a pretty provocative final thought, though.
It does. If language is what gives us retrievable memory, if it's the very structure of our recalled reality, you have to wonder, what essential nonverbal truth about just being, What did we have to forget in order to learn how to speak?